Welcome, Chesters. Today we are going to be talking about the fits that our friends on the left are throwing about the recent actions by Secretary Marco Rubio related to visas issued by the United States. The first kerfuffle that he got himself into, well, not really because he's winning all of them, was the revocation of certain student visas for, for writing certain articles that were incompatible with the interest of the United States. And given the context of what was going on, the not-so-peaceful protests that were happening across the country at various college campuses, yes, he was absolutely right to do this and completely within his authority to do so. Our friends on the left keep crying that this is a violation of the First Amendment, that their free speech rights are being suppressed. Well, actually, no, not at all. They are still free to write content against the interests of the United States. They just can't do it within the United States. That is all. No one's restricting their free speech. We're just saying that as a foreigner, you cannot advocate against the interests of our country from within the country. And I just have to remind you, this was done against the backdrop of the not-so-peaceful protests that were happening at college campuses. It's not a free speech issue. They can go ahead and they can write all the op-eds they want. They just can't do it here. That is a recourse that the U.S. government has against foreigners. It is a recourse that the U.S. government does not have against citizens. So, yes, in a way, this is a right that is especially preserved for citizens, not foreigners. The next little kerfuffle that they are having a fit over is Secretary Rubio's decision to issue special visa restrictions against foreign officials who, threaten arrest warrants for social media posts made on American platforms while on U.S. soil, or pressuring U.S. tech companies to adopt global content moderation policies, censorship, that extend beyond their authority or beyond their borders. This is the preservation of our right to free speech, the preservation of our First Amendment rights in the United States. These foreign officials simply do not have any authority whatsoever to arrest, issue warrants against, detain in any way, or restrict Americans' ability to engage in free speech within our borders. And we know who Secretary Rubio is thinking about when he does this. The British officials who, perhaps even in passing, threatened to issue arrest warrants against people who were posting content related to the troubles that are happening in Britain right now. And of course, everyone's former favorite villain du jour, the head of the Brazilian Supreme Court. Yes, the Reaper judge. These are the foreign officials that Secretary Rubio is targeting with visa restrictions, and he is absolutely right to do so. These other countries, these other unions, they do not get to dictate our standards here. And yes, another decision by Marco that I absolutely agree with. And the third issue that they haven't really had a fit over yet, I think just because it happened yesterday and they haven't realized it, Secretary Rubio announced that the U.S. is going to be severely restricting or revoking the student visa of a number of Chinese nationals who have either ties to the Chinese Communist Party or are studying in critical fields like the physical sciences, semiconductors, or aerospace. Like it or not, China is an adversary, and we should not be educating people who are associated, especially with the Chinese Communist Party, here in America, for them to then take those skills back and advance the interests of one of our adversaries. While China is not necessarily an enemy yet, they do have global ambitions, and we should not be supporting that. Studying in the United States should be a privilege reserved for American citizens or our very close allies, such as the British, the Australians, the Japanese, yes, even the Canadians. If there is a genuine dissident who would like to escape communist China, then absolutely, they will be welcome. And I also want to point out that I do not recall a cry of censorship or unequal treatment from the left when, under the Biden administration, rejections of student visas from Russia increased by fourfold. So, yeah, what about that? Either way, I am very happy with the actions that Secretary Rubio has been taking lately, and especially on these visa issues. He is protecting American interests, and he is protecting the rights of Americans in America. You know I'm right.